All right, what's up, peeps? Let me get some things straight here. Get some things set up. All right, share it there. Give me a second here. I'm trying to share to a couple of places here. We're gonna get some Sunday empowerment going on here. I wanna set some intrinsic value to some folks. And just to clear up some misconception on some things, because this is all about clarity and understanding. And once we get clarity and understanding on some things, we can make some better decisions on some things. But then, as long as we got or we're getting this misconception of things, we're going to make bad choices. And we're not here living life to make bad choices. We're here living life to make the best choice that we can possibly make. All right. So while I'm sharing this out, I know this both the YouTube and Facebook platform is going to let some folks know that I'm going live, and I'm also sharing in a couple of groups here. So give me a few. I want to do a watch party. Give me a second here because I'm trying to get this shared out. And we're going to get this thing started here. All right. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Holidays are here. Well, actually, they came and gone. It's almost a new year. We're going into 2020. I hope y'all got your 2020 vision ready. If not, get your 2020 vision on. All right, get your 2020 vision on because 2020 is here. 2020 is here. All right, got a few more groups that I want to share this in, and then we are going to get this thing started. Y'all, please bear with your brother. Bear with your brother. If you're not on live, you will catch the replay. So even though I may not have too many folks on here live, because I know this is Sunday evening, people are watching football. I just finished watching the Dallas Cowboys lose their season. So they're going home and they're going to watch the Super Bowl from the comfort of their home, just like I will be watching it from the comfort of my home. If you don't hear the implied voice that Dallas Cowboys is my football team, needless to say, they had a disappointing year. But hey, better luck next time. Better luck next time. Okay, I done shared it in enough pages, groups. All right, so let me go ahead and get this thing started. For those who do not know me, my name is Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your Money Matters because of the fact you get up each and every day to earn it. You have a God-given right to keep it. But the reason why we're not keeping our money is because of what we don't know. It's not what we're doing. Actually, it is what we're doing, but because of what we're not doing is what is a result of what we don't know. So we got to fix that. All right. We got to fix what we're not doing by acquiring some information that we need to know, so that way we can start doing those things that we need to do in order for us to keep our money. All right. It's not in our labor. All right. We tend to think that fixing our money problem is in our labor. What do I mean by that? Working overtime. All right. Working 2 or 3 jobs. All right. That's labor. All right. But that's not the easiest way to fix the money problem. All right. By default, we tend to think that it is. We all did. All right. But I'm here to tell you there is a smarter way of keeping more of your money. Okay. You have to understand the system that you're living in and operating in is the reason, is going to be the reason how much money you're going to keep versus how much money you're going to give away. All right. I know subconsciously we are not here trying to earn a living to give away money. I know that we're not. Okay. I know we're here to earn money to where we can keep money to where we can have a sustainable lifestyle. All right. Sustainable lifestyle. None of us ain't trying to look to be rich, but we definitely ain't here to try to be poor. Okay. So my whole purpose, I'm not trying to be no social media diva, nothing like that. That is not my goal. That is not my purpose. That's not my intent. My intent to come out here socially, whether you see me on Facebook, whether you see on Instagram, or whether you see me on LinkedIn, either one of those three platforms, right? I'm on there with the main purpose of bringing or ushering people to a message, a financial message to where they can get financial hope, because there is financial hope. I didn't think so myself. Let me give you some background about me. All right. I am a 23 plus year civilian, or shall I say, federal employee working for the Department of the Air Force. I'm a computer engineer. That is my trade. Okay. Been working for in that industry now for 23 years plus. But I'm also a retired military officer of 28 years as a reservist. I didn't do all of my military time active duty. I did 6 years active duty and the remaining 22 years as a military officer in the same career field. So I know everything there is to know about computers, mostly everything there is to know. Of course, computer is a wide open career field, just like in medicine and all that good stuff. You got specialty. So I got a specialty, all right? So, but I said that to say this. Over the course of what I do, right, I get paid a handsome salary, all right? I get paid a six-figure income, all right? But here's the thing. Janine, thanks for jumping on. Here's the thing. As a six-figure income earner, I found myself scratching my head trying to figure out where my six figures were going. Okay. I was sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out where my six figures were going. All right. We all tend to think that if we make more money, that's going to automatically change our situation. People say, well, if I make six figures, I'm gonna spend wisely. I'm gonna become financially smart. No, making more money doesn't make no one financially wise. Let me say this again. Making more money does not make no one financially wise. Okay, that doesn't happen by default. You have to become financially wise in the course of not before, in the course of you earning your money, even on the way to six figures. But just because you making six figures, that don't mean you made it like George and Wheezy moving on up, because all you could be simply doing, which I was pretty much doing, is just struggling at a higher level, making more money. But I was struggling just like somebody who wasn't making six figures. All right. But I knew by me making six or earning six figures, my financial situation should have been far along or far longer it than what it was about 6 years ago. All right. No, I ain't gonna say that I was struggling from paycheck to paycheck, but I knew my money was not servicing me as it should have, because my money was servicing other things. All right. Now, I came on here this evening because I did a post earlier this morning. I think I probably struck a nerve, right? It was a good nerve and a bad nerve, all right? And the post that I did earlier today or this morning was about the W-2. I got Whoopi Goldberg face on there saying, hey, I forgot what the post was all about. I don't know. Let me see. What was the post all about? It had Whoopi Goldberg's face on it saying, Christmas is over now. Y'all waiting on the W-2s like Is anything come for me? All right. Now, some people found it funny. Some people found it intriguing. Other people might have took offense to it, might have got in their feelings. All right. Hence why it became a popular post. All right. Because we are in that season where we at the end of 2019. All right. And people are waiting for those W-2s to drop. All right. But I want to empower our folks. All right. I know y'all love entertainment, but y'all ain't gonna get no entertainment from me. Y'all gonna get education and empowerment from me. All right. So if you here for entertainment, you might as well just go ahead and jump off this live and don't even hit like or don't even hit share. I'm just gonna be that direct with the audience here. Okay. If you're looking for entertainment, just jump off real quick and go find your entertaining post, because this is all going to be about empowerment posts. We got to have some clarity. We got to clear up some 2019 foolishness so that way we don't take it into 2020. We've been going throughout the whole year with this foolery about us having this misconception about how this W-2 works. All right. I'm going to talk about 3 different federal forms that we need to know and learn and understand about. Okay. We need to get some clarity on this. We have a huge misconception about these forms, particularly the W-2. All right. Now, one thing I want y'all to know is it is biblically spoken in Deuteronomy 8:18 that we have the power to gain wealth. God has already given us, ordained us to have power to gain wealth. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. We're not gaining wealth because of lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. All right. Our people are being destroyed due to the fact of lack of knowledge. All right. So we got to get this knowledge, y'all. Knowledge is the currency, not entertainment. You can't build wealth. You can't gain the power to build wealth if you don't have the wisdom. And along with the wisdom comes with clarity and understanding. And that's my whole purpose throughout tonight's empowerment, is to help everyone get some clarity and some understanding about these forms. All right. So I'm going to talk about 3 forms. All right. I'm going to talk about the W-2 form. I'm going to talk about the W-4 form, and I'm going to talk about the Schedule C. Now, something else. I mentioned that I'm an employee. I work for the federal government. I'm also a business owner. Okay. What is my niche? Okay. My niche is in, well, let's just say I'm a financial alchemist. That's just a fancy word of me curating financial facts and sharing that to the people so they can come out of the financial wilderness. All right. Okay. So I'm a tax professional. All right. I'm also a credit repair specialist. Okay. And I'm also a financial educator. All right. I'm a financial educator. So, I'm centered around in the financial services as a business owner. And this is what I love to do, is to provide some information to our people in the community, to awaken the people in our community that we have some financial hope. But we will never know and understand that we have some financial hope when we don't have the clarity and understanding. All right. So now, since we all waiting on them W-2s, let me help you understand what the W-2 is all about. Okay. That is a federal form. All right. Now, if you want to know more about these forms, you can easily go to irs.gov/W2/W4/Schedule C. I'm pointing you to a resource. This is not something that Cedric is coming off the cuff and making up. You need to see it yourself from the IRS themselves. All right. They are the government. They are the ones who have written the tax laws. Okay. This is the system that everybody is adhering to when it comes to earning and spending money in this society. But you got to understand how these forms can work for you or against you. All right. Let's talk about the W-2. Now, I've already took some snippets off of the website to kind of give you some definition. Go read it for yourself. But I'm gonna read to you what the W-2 is all about. Let me give me a few drinks here. All right. So here's what the W-2 form all about. The purpose of the W-2 is this. I'm reading it verbatim from the irs.gov /W2. All right. A W-2 form, also known as the wage and tax statement, is the document an employer is required to send to each of their employees and the IRS at the end of the year. Y'all follow me so far? The W-2 form reports the employee's annual wages and the amount of taxes withheld from his or her paycheck. A W-2 employee is someone whose employer deducts taxes for and submits to the government. So in short, the W-2 tells you how much you earned in a year after the government took their portion from you or from your paycheck throughout the year. And typically that portion turns out to be 33%, 28, between 27 and 28% from the feds, and the remaining 3 to 4% from the state. All right. That's why you see the gross and the net never will meet, because of what took place in the middle. It's taxes. Your biggest deductions outside of your FICA, Social Security, and your health insurance, taxes is your biggest deduction every time you get paid. Okay. Your W-2 is nothing more than your financial, your report card, okay, of how much money that you earn and how much money the IRS took from of what you earn. It's just a statement. That's not a form that you fill out. That is a form that you receive from your employer, okay? Because your employer has to report that same W-2 form to the federal government to let the federal government know, hey, I got an employee that's earning income. And so the government is saying, okay, well, since they earn an income under your watch, they need to be paying X amount of dollars in taxes. And so when your employer sends their statement up, the federal government is waiting for the employee to file taxes on that income that you earn. Don't file if you don't want to. You're going to get a nice little letter from the IRS saying, hey, look, your employer told us that you earned some money. You ain't filed your taxes yet. What's going on? If you don't file your taxes, we don't hit you with penalties and interest. Be late all you want to. The later you do your taxes, the more interest and penalties we're going to tack on. Your W-2 form, ladies and gentlemen, is just a report card. Most of us have the misconception is that the W-2 is what's going to help me get a tax refund. The W-2 form is not the form by itself that's going to help you get a tax refund. It just reports year-to-date totals. That's all it does. It just reports year-to-date totals, ladies and gentlemen. But we look at the W-2s as it's some bag of gold or something. It ain't. It ain't. Let me tell you, when we look at a refund, before I go into the next form, which is the W-4, a refund is this. We're going to break this down. Re means again, fund means money. When you get a refund at the end of the year, all you're doing is getting back your portion of your money that the government took throughout the year. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not extra money. You just getting back a portion of the money that the government took from you. That's not a bona fide refund. It's not extra money, but we don't know any better. I didn't know any better. If you give the government, if the government is taking at least $6,000 a year in taxes through payroll deduction, which comes out to be $550 every 2 weeks. All right. Yeah. 550. No, excuse me. $500 a month. Excuse me. $500 a month, $250 every 2 weeks. I had the math wrong. $500 a month. That comes to about $6,000 a year. All right. But you're getting a $3,000 tax refund. Are you in a hole or did you get a surplus? Ain't nobody gonna touch this. I understand. I understand. Ain't nobody gonna touch because you're in this situation because you don't know. Let me just fill you in. You in a hole. You in a hole of $3,000. The government took $6,000 from you throughout the year, but you're gonna shout for joy for a $3,000 refund check. You in an upside down situation. You just only getting back the money, a portion of the money that they took from you. What happened to the other $3,000? It don't went to the IRS. $6,000 went to the IRS, and then the IRS immediately became an investor, and they put it out in the market. They go get capital gains and dividends. Then they put it back into the working capital fund, and it pays my salary. I appreciate y'all. But that's the get down. The interest and capital gains that was earned off came off the tax money that you pay into it. It pays my salary. All right, it pays my salary. I do really appreciate y'all paying my salary, but I'm sure you would much rather see more of your money than it going in my pocket, right? That's the get down. So the W-2, ladies and gentlemen, is just nothing more than a year-to-date statement. You don't fill out that form, all right? The W-2 is just a statement. By itself, it doesn't give you a refund. Now, let's talk about the next form, which is a W-4, all right? Y'all either gonna appreciate the info or y'all gonna get mad about the info, all right? I'm gonna make somebody do something. They either gonna go to my timeline and go to my profile and unlike me or unfriend me because said always out here empowering folks, said too direct. Folks gonna get in their feelings. I really don't care because we need an awakening out here. We got folks in Egypt who crying about they want to be free, but they're not doing anything to get free. You got Joshua's out here left and right trying to help people come out of Egypt, but yet you slapping Joshua across the head. You want to be free, but you pushing Joshua away. Keep on. And you're going to continue to be in the wilderness. Y'all seen the 10 Commandments, right? Y'all seen the 10 Commandments. Y'all seen how the people of Egypt was finally free and they got to Mount Sinai and they committed a great sin. They turned away from the ways of how they should live. Next thing you know it, here come the wilderness all over again. Don't create no wilderness all over again. All right. They're genuine people out here who are trying to help people out here. Unfortunately, we do have some false prophet out here. We do have some folks who out here who trying to scheme folks for their money. And it makes it tremendously hard and difficult for people who are really, truly, and genuinely out here trying to help folks. All right. Let's talk about the W-4. Okay. The purpose of the W-4, again, you can go to irs.gov/W-4 and you can go look it up for yourself. But I'm going to read a portion of it for you right now. To complete Form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income taxes from your paycheck. If too little is withheld, okay, you would generally owe taxes when you file your tax return and may owe a penalty. You follow me so far? If too much is withheld, you would generally be due a refund. Remember, I told you, remember, I explained what a refund is. It just said it right here on an IRS federal form. If you pay too much, then you're going to get a refund because, again, a refund means you're just getting your money back. Just think about it. If you go to Best Buy and you buy something, all right, and you don't want it, you go back for a return. You hand them the receipt, you give them the merchandise, and they're gonna give you a refund for it, which means you're gonna get your money back. That's what a refund is. It's no different here when it comes to your federal income taxes. It just said it right here by the IRS. If too much, if too much is withheld, you would generally be due a refund. Why you want to give too much of your money to the IRS just to get a refund so that way you can struggle throughout the year? Y'all help me make sense of that. I'm gonna make somebody mad this evening. Y'all thought that post that I put up there was controversial. This video is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna make somebody get in my inbox with some feelings off of this one because I'm about to touch some nerves. Here's why: because we need an awakening. And I'm not the type person that's going to be sitting here whispering to everyone that you got to understand that the system can work for you and not against you. You crying you want help, but you're not, you got help in front of you and you don't even understand that you got help in front of you. The same system that's taking or depleting your money is the same system that can replenish your money. Let me say that again. The same system that is depleting your money that you're earning is the same system that can replenish the money that you're earning. But you got to learn how the system works. And none of us don't want to learn how the system works. Why? Because we tend to think the way we fix our money problem is with labor. Let me go work some more hours. Let me go work some second or third job. That's not it. That's not it. Let me read on about the W-4. Complete a new W-4 form. When changes to your personal or financial situation would change the entries on the form. You will see in the top left-hand corner at the top of this W-4 form. You'll see the purpose. That is the very first paragraph you're going to see on this form. Don't believe me? Go to irs.gov/W4 and you'll see it. Anytime your financial situation changes, if you get married, if you're single, you get married, you need to change the W4. If you get a divorce, you need to change the W4. If you get children, you need to change the W4. If your children be over the age of 17, you need to change your W4. If you become a business owner or investor, you need to change the W4. Anytime your financial situation changes, we need to change the W4. The IRS says it, not Cedric said it, all right? So in short, the W4 tells the government what to withhold from your W2, okay, which allows you to see more or less of your paycheck. The more allowances you can claim, okay, the less the government can take from your paycheck. So the whole get down out here, ladies and gentlemen, when we trying to earn our cookies is to lower our tax liability. And the only way to do that is to gain allowances. Well, the only way to gain allowances is to qualify for deductions. Okay? We're going to go over the W4 real quick when I'm going to show you the personal side, and then there's another side that most of us are not aware of on this W4. All right? That is the W4. The last form that I want to talk about is the Schedule C. Pay attention. This is going to be a long one, all right? This is going to be a long one. Anyone, this is a Schedule C, anyone who operates a business all right, must fill out a Schedule C when filing his or her annual tax return. The IRS Form Schedule C's accompanies the main tax return form 1040. Okay, everybody files a 1040, so the Schedule C is attached with it. Okay, it's an additional form you file with it for taxpayer who must report a profit or loss for their business. Everybody tracking with that? Now, this schedule asks about the taxpayer's business name, products and services, the address of the business, the accounting method, gross receipts, sales, cost of goods sold. All right. This form also is where business owners report that, here we go, tax deductible business expenses such as advertising, car and truck expenses, commission and fees, supplies, utilities, home office expenses. Cedric, what is home office expense? Well, let's see. If you got utility bills, and you running your business out of the comfort of your home, you can deduct a portion of your utility bills. Okay. If you're renting, your place of dwelling and you're renting your place of dwelling, you can deduct a portion of your monthly rent. Okay. Internet, you can deduct a portion of it. If you got a second line in your home that's dedicated to run your business purpose, okay, you can deduct that. That's what they talk about home office expense, and many more. I'm reading this from the IRS publication Schedule C. If you want to, if you want to learn more about it, go to irs.gov/Schedule C. All right. Now, small business owners also can use the Schedule C to take a deduction for the use of personal vehicle for business purpose, mileage that you put on your vehicle. If you lease a vehicle, you can deduct that. If you put gas, you can deduct that. If you have out-of-pocket expense for maintenance, upkeep, you can deduct that. Okay. Okay. What else? You also can use a Schedule C, all right, to calculate the business net profit or loss for income tax purposes. This figures is then transferred. Here come the cookies. This figure, which is the taxpayer net profit and loss income, is then transferred. The deductibles, the tax deduction from your business now is transferred to your 1040. All right, which is your personal, which is the Schedule A. That is your where you report your personal income from your W-2. All right, and is used in calculating the taxpayer's overall tax liability for the year. The taxpayer who operate more than one sole proprietorship must file separate Schedule C's for each business. All right, so if you got 4 business, that means you need to do 4 separate Schedule C's. That's what the IRS is saying right there. Let me go back to this again. The Schedule C can be used for taxpayers to calculate the business net profit or loss for income tax purposes. Then is transferred to your 1040, which is your personal side, to calculate the taxpayer overall tax liability. All right. When we earn an income in this system or in this society, our whole main goal is to lower our tax liability. And I mentioned before that the best way to do that is to have deductions. You got to qualify for them, though. You just can't just go claim deductions that you can't qualify for. Otherwise, you're going to be falsifying a federal document. And that brings on penalties and fines and possibly imprisonment. That ain't what we're trying to teach folks here. All right. The Schedule C, and overall, it tells the government how much additional deductions you can claim as a business owner, which you can claim on your W-4 as an additional allowances to be withheld from your W-2, which you get to see more of your paycheck, but also give you a bigger tax refund. Okay? That's what the W-4 is all, the Schedule C is all about. The Schedule C is where the pot of gold is. Why? Because the Schedule C and along with the W-4 is what's going to help you keep more of your money, which shows up on your report card, which is your W-2. Your W-2 is just a report card. It's just a statement, just like it says. It's just a statement. It's not a form. A form you fill out. A statement is nothing more than numbers that's already on it. It already tells you what your earnings are. All right. Now, I'm going to try something here because I'm using a new platform. I want to share my screen because I want to show you all what a W-4 looks like. Give me a second. I'm hoping that I can. Screen one. Let's see. I'm hoping y'all can see this. Move this over here. And we're going to widen this out. All right. Here is the W-4. All right. Listen, this is a federal form. It is by the Department of Treasury. This is not a Cedric Jenkins form. This belongs to the federal government. All right. Now, remember when I read to you all the purpose of the W-4, right? See this purpose right here? Here you go right here. Complete the form W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. If too little is withheld, you would generally owe taxes when you file your tax return and may owe a penalty. If too much is withheld, you would generally be due a refund. But just remember what I told you about a refund. A refund just simply means your money again, and only a portion of it, not all of it. Again, the government is going to take more than what he's going to give back to you. Johnson said he sees it. He sees it here on YouTube. I'm glad you can see it out there on YouTube, Jonathan. All right. That is the W-4 form. Now, let's move on down. Let me show y'all how this W-4 form can work against you or for you. I think I done passed it. The section. This is your 2020 form. And it's different from previous years. And if we don't understand how to fill this out, automatically we're losing the game. We got to understand how to fill it out. You cannot go to your employer to help you fill it out because they, in accordance with, and I forget the U.S. Treasury statute of limitation, that that your employer cannot legally give you any kind of tax advice on how to fill out the form. All right. If they do, they're in violation in accordance with the U.S. Treasury Department. I got to find that statute, and they can be held liable for giving their employees advice on filling out this W-4 form. Okay. Hold on, let me take my watch off because of the fact I'm getting distracted because I'm getting all these inbox messages and all that good stuff. I want to be laser beam focused on this. All right. Now, where do we go? Let's do this. Because that's not really in circulation as of yet. But let's do this. Let's look at last year, 2019, because that's what we're used to seeing. So check this out. On the W-4, you got a personal side, and then you have a deduction side. All right, additional deductions. All right, this is on your personal side. Most of us are filling this portion out. All right. Look at the questions that is asking you. It's asking you about yourself and your family members. If you have children, then there are certain lines that you will have to fill out. Okay. This will help you total up how many allowances that you'll be getting from this section. So let's say that you're single with no children. Okay. You enter one for yourself. Okay. And then you enter one here on line D if you meet these criteria. If you're single and have only one job, most of us, or if you have one job, then you put a 1 there. You can put a 1 there if you're married filing jointly and your spouse doesn't work, or you can put a 1 here if your wages from your second job or your spouse's wages are total or are $1,500 or less. But those are the 3 criteria. If you don't meet those 3 criteria, guess what? You don't pick up that 1 allowances, which means you only pick up 1 allowances for yourself. So when you get down here to line H and total it up, that means you only have 1 allowances that you're qualified to claim. Let me just say this. I say it again. The more allowances that you can accumulate, the less that your employer will withhold from your paycheck, which means more money will show up in your take-home pay. But because of the fact that is not set up for wage income earners to qualify for tax credits and deductions, we lose the battle on acquiring allowances. Anybody tracking? If not, you can hit me, you can inbox me, you can catch me offline on this. But we got to get some clarity on this. All right, we got to get some clarity on this, because I keep seeing this foolishness year in and year out about the misunderstanding about the W-2. Now I can see if nobody wasn't out here spreading the news and educating and informing our people, but I've been on this 6-year pilgrimage about us understanding this, and yet we still don't get it. And that's why we still gonna have a big income disparity between the haves and the have-nots. People want to be free, but they really don't want to be free. Now, that's the personal side. The second section is deductions, adjustment, and additional income. This is where someone has ownership in something like an asset. Okay. This is where you start itemizing. And the more you itemize, the more allowances that you can claim. Okay. But you have to have ownership in something. I give an example. If you own a home, that means you have a mortgage loan. That means you can itemize mortgage interest. That gives you a deduction that you can claim. All right. There's some other stuff. If you're a business owner, you get to fill out this portion right here, because your business is an asset. your business expenses becomes deductible, which turn into allowances that you claim in this section. But if you don't have a business and you just a W-2 wage income earner and you don't have ownership in an asset, okay, no asset whatsoever, you're not itemizing, which means you're not putting yourself in a position to get more deductions, to where you can get more allowances, to where you can get tax savings. All right. But here again, if you don't know anything about this, how are you going to do this? We got to learn this. We got to understand this. But we don't. We don't want to. We much rather be entertained instead of empowered. But that's okay. You can't have 20/20 vision if you still got your bifocals still blurry. You got to clean the bifocals. Most of us don't want to clean the bifocals. We still got blurry vision. At what point do we get clear vision? At what point are we going to see 20/20 with 20/20 vision? This is where I'm showing you all how this W-4 form can work again. All right. If you don't have ownership in this if you don't have ownership, then that means this form is going to work against you, because you're only filling out this top portion. But if you have ownership in an asset, then that means you're filling out the top portion and this bottom portion, to where now this form is working for you. Okay. Here's the Schedule C. If you're a business owner, I already talked about this. If you're a business owner, you'll be filling this form out at the end of the year with your tax return. Okay. Look at the things that you'll be deducting as tax deductible: travel, meals and entertainment, taxes and license, supplies, repair and maintenance. Look at all this. Look, rent and lease. Y'all thought I was lying. Let me go back. This is a Department of Treasury, IRS, IRS form. This is not Cedric form. You can go to irs.gov/Schedule C and you pull up this form. Look at the things that the business owners is deducting. Do any of this look familiar to you all? It should, because for most of us who are just wage income earner, this is out-of-pocket expenses for most of us. But here's the thing: you can't deduct it if you just a wage income earner. Okay? You cannot deduct it. It has to be ordinary and necessary for business use. Okay? That's the only way that you're going to be able to deduct it. All right? The only way you're going to be able to deduct it. Okay? Look at all this stuff that you can deduct. That is the power of the Schedule C combined with the Schedule 4 that shows up on your W-2. Again, here's your W-2. Your W-2 is just a statement. It just numbers, year-to-date numbers, that tells you and the government how much money you earn, how much money you paid into Social Security, how much money you paid into Medicare, all right, and how much taxes you paid. You don't fill out this form. What the numbers that show up on this form is a result of what you have done throughout the year on the W-4. And if you have a Schedule C along with it, okay, then that means you're able to lower your tax liability over here, which shows up on your report card. Y'all ain't liking this. I know it, because it's education. It ain't entertainment. But that post I did this morning stir up some folks because lack of understanding. So I said, well, let me get out here, okay? Let me get out here and do a Facebook Live on this, okay? You can catch the replay. If you got some strong opinions, inbox me. I'm not that dude that's looking for to be a social media diva to where we're gonna have this social media debate on the timeline about your opinion. All right, everybody's opinion matters, but we're not gonna have no debate to where all the world can see it. Let's inbox this thing and let's talk offline. All right, let's talk offline. Let's get some clarity offline. But that ain't my purpose to get out here and have no social media debate to turn into a social media diva. If that's your intent, please save your comments or your opinions, because I'm not here to entertain that. I'm here to entertain people who generally have questions and are trying to get understanding about how they can live financially or thrive financially in a system that they finding difficult in trying to come up. There are people who are genuinely looking for some answers. There's also some people that are generally trying to give some answers. But we got all this distraction out here, and we can't see the forest for the trees because of the distraction. And because this is an empowerment video, I also know that I'm working against the algorithm. I already know I'm working against the algorithm of this platform. This platform is not going to render this video to a whole lot of folks because it's putting light on some darkness. I already know that. So I already know I'm up against that. But all I need is just one or two to open up their eyes, to see it and open up their eyes, have an open mindset to say, I need to see more about what SAID is talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, the W-2 is not a direct reflection of what you're going to get in your refund. It's not. Your W-2 is just a year-to-date statement to say how much money you made, how much money the government took from you. That's all it is. That's all it is. And if you ain't do anything on these other two forms, then the government got you. Because if you ain't itemizing, then the government is taking your money throughout the year and then going to get you at the end of the year. That's how they was doing me. The government was taking $550 every month. Excuse me, every two weeks, which is $1,100 a month from my paycheck due to taxes. When you do the math, do that times 12, that's about $13,200 that the government was getting from me in payroll deduction. Then because SAID is a 6-figure income earner, he balling, at the end of the year, the government comes back to me and say, SAID, hey, look, I knew I took $13,000 from you throughout the year, but we ain't get enough. You still owe us some money. And then it turns out my tax bill be between $6,000 to $7,000. By the time it's all said and done, I done gave the government $20,000 in taxes. And I wonder why or where my money is going. $20,000 of it is going to taxes. That's because of the fact I didn't have, or I didn't position myself to get deductions. And because of the fact that I didn't position myself to get deductions, I was not getting the allowances. I wasn't qualifying for the allowances to be withheld from my paycheck. Therefore, I was not lowering my tax liability. Therefore, the government was taking my cookies. That's the cookie monster. And if you don't position yourself to keep the government from your cookies, the government is going to be the cookie monster. And they're going to take your cookies each time you get paid. Let me stop sharing so y'all can see my face. So, ladies and gentlemen, this broadcast was not for me to become social media popular. No public figure, Nothing like that. I give less than 2 ham sandwiches about being a public figure. This is all about awakening some folks because some of us are dead sleep. Some of us are asleep at the wheel. Some of us are just sleep in the bed. I was that 6 years ago until I had my tree shaking experience to where I had to do a reassessment on my own personal finances. And when I did, I had to make a conscious decision to say, I got to know better so I can do better. All right. Now, you seeing some words scrolling below this video. All right. It say comment info below if you want some information about it. What is that information? On how you can incorporate the W-4 and the Schedule C to where now it shows up on your W-2. You have to use a system to implement the Schedule C or combine the Schedule C and the W-4 together in order for it to show up in your report card, which is your W-2, your year-to-date statement. Remember, W-2 is just a statement. It's not a form. You don't fill out a statement. You fill out a form, okay? And if you're not positioning yourself to where you're filling out those two forms, then that W-2, or shall I say the W-4 form, is going to be working against you. And it all boils down to this. The government's going to be working against you. That's what it boils down to. The government's going to be working against you. So the question is this: do you want the government to work against you or for you? Because if the government is working for you, you get to keep most of your money or some of your money. But if the government working against you, you're not keeping your money. You hear me say this all the time. The more you know, the less you owe. The less you know, the more you're going to always owe. You got to make the decision as far as which one you want to do. You want to owe more or you want to owe less. Y'all gotta wake up, y'all. Get some 2020 vision, because 2020 is coming. But you got to start now. You got to start now. Jonathan said, appreciate you educating us, sir. People need to have a home-based business. W-2 workers need to change quadrants. See, in life, change is inevitable. All right? Ain't nothing going to remain the same. Change is inevitable. All right? You think we still got dinosaurs in this day and age? We don't have the dinosaur age already. We're not fast forward. We're in the information technology age. You think we still living in a Western civilization age? No, the horse and buggy is gone. We got automobiles now. So change is inevitable, which means trends, right? We got to go with the trends. And here's the trends, because I'm about to caveat. I'm about to tack on what Jonathan had just mentioned. We still got brick and mortar, but now it's click and order. Let me say this again, and maybe it might have went over some folks' head. The traditional brick and mortar is transitioning to click and order. That's why Amazon is a multi-million-dollar business, because it's all click and order. A lot of y'all got them smiley boxes showed up at your front door for Christmas. That's how y'all did your Christmas shopping. It's click and order. Did you go up into a brick and mortar store to get it? Nah, you went online. Brick and mortar is now virtual, which means having a virtual business such as that is an asset that you need in your portfolio. The way that we earning money is changed. It ain't just, see, the W-2 is that traditional brick and mortar way of earning money. Having a virtualized business where you're running your business out of the comfort of your home, or where you just have a connection to the internet and a laptop, then now you earn money on the go. You can earn money anywhere, and you're not confined to no location or no time. You just earn money when you get ready. So it's the virtual way of earning money instead of the brick and mortar way. Now, I'm not here bashing wage income earners. I'm still one, but I'm only going to give the government another 3 or 4 more years, and I'm going to call it retirement. All right, because at that point, I can qualify for the early retirement age. I'm not working till I'm 60 some plus years old. That's for other folks. After I'm gonna hit that early retirement age, I'm gonna get that whatever that little percentage is, and I'm gonna pop smoke. I'm gonna bounce. And I'm gonna turn my business from part-time to full-time from that point. But brick and mortar is now click and order. And that's how people are transitioning or finding alternative ways to earn money. Add this to your portfolio. Then now you have ownership in an asset. All right. When you have ownership in an asset, you put yourself in a position to get the government to work on your side. Ownership is where the wealth is being made at, not in our labor. It's through ownership. Think about this. I'm about to touch a nerve here. Think of the old slavery days when the slave masters had ownership in slaves. Slaves was an asset to slave masters. Why? Because they can use them for labor for themselves, or they were selling slaves. And when they sell slaves, guess what? They get income from selling slaves. If they don't sell the slaves and keep them for themselves, they use the slaves for their own personal use. It was an asset. They had ownership over the slaves. We need to have ownership over something. That's how we can get the piece of the pie in of the American pie, is to have ownership. The people who have ownership in this society are the ones who are thriving financially. But the people who are still just relying on just their labor are having a hard time thriving financially. We got to get to the point. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave because I know this was a long live, all right? But I'm gonna say this before I leave. We got to get to the point to where we gotta convert us renting our labor and start getting equity on our labor. Right now, if you're just a wage income earner, you simply just renting out your labor and you're not getting anything back in return other than a paycheck. All right. If you don't show up at work, you don't get a paycheck. But if you are getting equity from your labor, meaning you putting your time, energy, and effort into an asset such as a business, your business draws equity and you live off the equity. All right. You can just perform works one time and the equity will pay itself 2 to 3 to 10-fold of your earnings. But on a job, you got to show up. You got to show up. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. That's how it goes. We all know everybody get sick leave and vacation time off, and all that good stuff. But when all that is depleted, then that means if you sick, if all your sick time is gone and you sick, you can't call in sick. You're gonna have to go to work with your disease and infest everybody else in their office. Or you probably gonna say, all right, I'm just gonna take off. I gotta call in sick because I don't want to infest nobody else. But if you ain't got no sick leave, guess what? The amount of days that you took off, you're gonna get docked for it. It's the real get down out here, y'all. It's the real get down out here. So, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say this again. The W-2 is all it is a statement of what you did throughout the year. It's not a form that you fill out. It's not a form that you fill out. It's just your report card of how much you earn and how much the government took away from you. That's when you probably will really see how much money that you're not able to keep. All right. But the W-4 is a form that you do fill out to where you tell your employer, okay, withhold this amount from my paycheck. But you got to position yourself to gain some more allowances so that way you can withhold more. But see, the Schedule C, here's the power in the Schedule C. The Schedule C gives you the power to execute, to tell your employer how much more allowances that you're going to withhold from your paycheck. And not only that, I failed to mention that this same Schedule C gives you the ability or the power to tell the government, to tell your boss to give you a pay raise. How many of y'all how many of y'all is worthy of a pay raise? How many of y'all can go to your boss and ask for a pay raise and get it? Why not have the government work for you to where the government tell your boss, give Ann a pay raise? You need to learn how to do that. These forms, if you know how to properly, legally, ethically, and morally learn how to use these forms, then these forms can show up in your bank account. The savings of it can show up in your bank account. It can show up in your refund, okay? And it can show up in your net earnings of your wages, okay? Because as a business owners get a true refund. Because why? Because they don't pay as much in taxes throughout the year, but then at the end of the year, because they got deductions, those deductions turn into tax savings. And if we didn't know, tax savings show up as a refund, which means that is not money, that is a bona fide refund, because that's money that you didn't pay into that you're trying to get back. That's money that you never gotten before. So that is extra money. But for those who changed their who use the W-4, all right, and you fix your W-4 to where you paying all your money in taxes just so you can get a tax refund, is just you overpaying taxes. And let me say this: stop playing around with changing it, doing the bunny hop with your W-4. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all go through the first 6 months and you put whatever allowances on there. Let the government take this money in taxes. Then from month 6 to month 12, you go to exempt. So you can try to get it back. Now, let me tell y'all something. The government is cracking down on folks bunny hopping on their W-4 without showing some legal documentation. 2 steps forward, slide to the left, slide to the right. Y'all doing that on your W-4, and the government going cha-cha on y'all butt about playing around with that W-4. You falsifying a federal form to where you're gonna get penalties, interest, and probably federal imprisonment. You don't want to play with the federal government. I'm telling you, I worked for the federal government all my life as a civilian and a uniform soldier. And the things that I do and the things that I share, listen, whatever the things that I do on a day-to-day basis, I support this nation's national security, which means it requires me to have a top secret security clearance, which therefore means I am held to a high standard to where I should not be involved in anything legal, illegal, unethical, and unmoral. I got to have my stuff together. I had to have my ish together, in other words. So just know when I'm sharing information, I'm not doing anything to kill my livelihood. I'm giving these folks another 3 or 4 more years. And then I'm trying to keep my nose clean. I love my freedom. I always want to keep my nose clean. So the information that I'm sharing is not esoteric, and it's not something that I'm going to put people in a bind, because I don't want myself to be in a bind. All right. Ruby say I could use your help. All right. Don Joe Craig said the same thing. And saying info, please. Y'all, I'm not here for my health. I know some of this information going on deaf ear because it ain't entertainment. Most folks, they want to entertain their way out of their problems, but you got to learn how to face your problems in order to overcome your problems. And most of us don't want to take any kind of self accountability in doing so. I had to do that. I had to make a decision to say, I gotta face my problems. My financial picture is all jacked up. I gotta bite the bullet. I gotta acquire some information. I gotta acquire some knowledge. Then I gotta go execute on that knowledge so that way I can get some results. All of us got to do the same thing. Otherwise, we always going to be wandering in the wilderness, just like the people in Egypt. Yeah, the people in Egypt finally came out, but they backslid and then they got wandered. And what God did, all right. See, I didn't even know that they did something for God to put them in the wilderness from the beginning. Then they cried, they want to be free from Pharaoh, from Pharaoh. Pharaoh ain't in the business of making free men, they in the business of enslaving men. And if we don't understand how this system works, we're going to always be enslaved. We can free ourselves. That's the glory to all this. We can free ourselves. We ain't got to wait on nobody. We can free ourselves. All it does is just take a conscious decision to say, I want to be free. All right. All you got to do is acquire some knowledge from somebody that's trustworthy, that has some integrity. All right. To where now you can take that information, perform some action against that information, to where you can starting your journey out of the wilderness. All right. To where you can come to the bottom, to the mountain, to the Mount Sinai, the bottom of Mount Sinai. All right. Once you get to the bottom of Mount Sinai, then it's time for you to get some additional instructions, some financial commandments, to where now you're going to take those commandments and live in the free land. That's what this journey is all about. But before the journey starts, you got to make a decision to get on the journey. All right. Ruby said that's where I am, could use some direction. Okay. I'm just a Joshua. Hey, look, I'm not even a Joshua. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a priest. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not a deacon. I'm not on the praise team. But I am an usher. And all I do is each and every day I put on my white gloves and I usher people to a financial message to where they can get financially liberated. The question is, do you want to be financially liberated? Everybody say they want to be free, but do you really want to be free? Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. I'm just an usher. I ain't trying to be a priest. I ain't trying to be a pastor. I ain't trying to be an evangelist. I ain't trying to be no deacon or nothing like that. I ain't trying to be on no praise and worship team. I just want to be a humble servant of an usher, to usher you to a place to where you can hear a message about financial hope. And if financial hope is not on your list for 2020, then yes, this information is going to be on deaf ears. Okay. So this is your boy, Cedric Jenkins, founder and creator of Your Money Matters. Your money matters because of the fact you get up each and every day to earn it. You have the right to keep it. So for those who want info, Here's what I want you to do. After this video is over with, because I can't see the Facebook or the YouTube, all right? If you're watching it from those platforms, comment below info, and I've seen some info on how you can use the system to incorporate the W-4 and the Schedule C together to where it will show up on your report card, which is your W-2. So that way you can start keeping more of your cookies. And we got to stop letting the Cookie Monster eat our cookies. But we don't know any better. But I'm here to fix that. I'm here to fix that because somebody helped me. And that is my charge to keep, is to help others. See, I could have withhold this information to myself and say, I got mine, everybody else got to get theirs. Now, what sense does it make when I see my sister and my brother struggling, but I'm withholding information? Now, God's going to withhold my blessings because I'm withholding information because I'm watching and letting my brothers and my sisters out here struggle when I know I got some information in my wisdom fuel tank that I can empty to other people. So when you see me come on here live, or when you see me posting, say it ain't trying to be no social media diva. I ain't worried about that. I ain't got time for that. I don't give a ham sandwich about that. I'm here with a purpose and intent to awakening or put sight to the blind about this financial picture that we all have to paint. Our financial pictures are personal finances. We should be a self-portrait. It should be a self-portrait. But the reason why it ain't a self-portrait, or it's hard to paint a self-portrait when it's somebody else is holding the brush. We don't even know how or why somebody else is holding the brush. Until then, somebody else is going to be painting that picture for us. And it's going to be an ugly picture. You need to get that paintbrush back in your hand so you can paint your own financial picture. But you need to transition from the mindset that we currently have. I know it's a struggle. I know it's a struggle. It was a struggle for me. But I knew my situation needed to change. I knew I needed to do something different. All right? Comment below this video, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. If you want more info, comment the keyword info. Comment the keyword info. That lets me know. See, that lets me know you're paying attention. Secondly, it lets me know that you have a purpose and you made a conscious decision that you want to make a change. All right, at least taking a step. All right. I'll follow directions. Comment info if you want info in the comment field. And for those who are following directions, I will send you the info. But for those who are not following directions, I'm not going to send info. And I hate to sound like a drill sergeant, but that's the old drill sergeant in me. But because life is we in the military, attention to details is going to save lives. All right. We have to pay attention to details. Because the devil is in the details. I shouldn't say the devil's in the detail, but the deliverance is in the details. And if we ain't paying attention to the details, we won't get no deliverance. Who ready for a deliverance? Who is ready for a financial deliverance? Who is ready to come out of their financial wilderness? If that's you, you know what to do. You see the scrolling writing. I shouldn't even have to say it. All right. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a quiet and safe Sunday. Tomorrow, for most of us, is back to work. Well, some of us may have a short week because of New Year's. But if I don't talk to anyone here between now and New Year's, y'all have a happy, safe New Year. Let's go into 2020 with a vision, with a purpose to know. Claim whatever it is, claim it right now in 2019 that you're going to receive it in 2020. Claim it now. Don't wait for 2020 to get here. Claim it now. All right. We'll holler at y'all later. Be blessed. Peace.